Welcome back to yet another video of edjo learning platform. Today we are discussing about analytical techniques and spectroscopic technique based Q&A. It is very useful for FSO exam. So let's begin. Which analytical technique is known as chemical fingerprint of compound? That is IR spectroscopy. It is infrared spectroscopy. Once again, just you listen, which analytical technique is known as chemical fingerprint of compound? Answer is IR spectroscopy. Moving to second question, that is HPLC is an advanced form of which chromatography technique? HPLC is an advanced form of which chromatography technique? It's column chromatography technique. What is the full form of HPLC? High performance liquid chromatography. So it is an advanced form of column chromatography. Chromatography was first developed by Russian botanist. What is the name of Russian botanist name? Mikhail Tesvet. Mikhail Tesvet, who first introduced chromatography. It was introduced by a Russian botanist, Mikhail Tesvet. Next question. Gel filtration is widely used for the separation of which nutrient? Gel filtration is widely used for the separation of which nutrient? Protein. Okay, gel filtration is widely used for the separation of which nutrient? Protein. Protein can be separated by gel filtration. So please note, it's very important. And moving to our next question, that is who introduced paper chromatography? Christian Frederick Chopin. Who introduced paper chromatography? Paper chromatography is a one type of separation technique. So it was introduced by Christian Frederick Chopin. Christian Frederick Chopin. And paper chromatography is very useful for the food industry. Which chromatography technique is used for the study of ripening and fermentation? Paper chromatography. Which chromatography technique is used for the study of ripening and fermentation? Paper chromatography. Which chromatography technique is used for the study of ripening and fermentation? Paper chromatography. And which separation method used for the detection of pesticide or insecticide in food and water? Which separation technique is used for the detection of pesticide or insecticide in food and water? That is TLC, thin layer chromatography. Which separation technique is used for the detection of pesticide or insecticide in food and water? So, as far as TLC is concerned, thin layer chromatography. Thin layer chromatography, we does this work in a TLC plate. And what is the study of interaction between matter and radiation? What is the study of interaction between matter and radiation? It is known as spectroscopy. It is known as spectroscopy. What technique? Which technique is used to study the matter and interaction with matter and radiation spectroscopy. So this is a basic question. We have to understand the basic questions also. And spectroscopy, in spectroscopy we have to study infrared, UV, mass spectroscopy, AAS. So first of all, spectroscopy means it's an interaction between matter and radiation. So moving to next question, that another name for IR spectroscopy is IR spectroscopy. So we can first question itself, IR spectroscopy is used for the fingerprint of chemical compounds, and another name for IR spectroscopy is vibrational spectroscopy. Vibrational spectroscopy. IR spectroscopy, full form IR is infrared spectroscopy. Which analytical technique that measures the concentration of elements? Which analytical technique that measures the concentration of elements? Which analytical means overall we can say which spectroscopic technique which measures the concentration of element? Atomic absorption spectroscopy. Atomic absorption spectroscopy. Which spectroscopy identify chemical bonds in a molecule by producing an IR spectrum? Fourier transform infrared, FTIR. Which spectroscopy identifies chemical bonds in a molecule by producing an IR spectrum? FTIR. So it is a very important question. Which spectroscopy identify chemical bond in a molecule by producing an IR spectrum? FTIR. Which technique that help identify the amount and type of chemical present in a sample is mass spectroscopy. Which technique that helps identify the amount and type of chemical present in a sample? Mass spectroscopy. So here are some basic questions and it is very useful for FSO exam. So study well. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe my channel, like, share, study well. Thank you.